Author, journalist, and longtime Ventura County resident Ivor Davis joins us this morning to talk about his latest true crime book, The Devil in My Friend.
That's right. He'll be signing copies of The Devil is in My Friend at Chaucer's bookstore tomorrow night in Santa Barbara. Ivor, good morning, and thank you for being here.
Good morning. Thanks for having me here.
You're welcome. So you have your tea.
I've had my tea, and I'm ready to go.
Well, tell us about the book, because a lot of us aren't really familiar with the story, but it's got a very strong local tie.
Well, it does, because although at the time of the incident, I was living in Malibu, and so was Fred Rayler, who was my friend. And I'll just tell you very briefly, I knew he'd had tragedy in his life. His first wife died in a terrible accident. Werner's husband died in a terrible accident. They came together in Malibu in the late 70s, and they got married, and it was like picture perfect. And then one day Fred came to me and said, I have a new stepson. You are the coach of the soccer team. I know nothing about soccer, and can I be your assistant coach? That's wonderful.
Yeah.
And then, of course, sadly, a few years later, I picked up the paper and discovered that Fred Rayler had been saved, his dog had been saved, but Douglas, my young soccer team member, and Werner, his mother, had died in a tragic boating accident at Santa Cruz Island, which is in Santa Barbara County. So it's a strange melange of things that came together.
Wow, and you and your wife, you wrote this together, and you went into this hoping to prove your friend innocent, just trying to investigate the entire situation, and really the exact opposite turned out to be true. What was that experience like for you?
Well, it was pretty horrifying, because we believed in his innocence. We attended the 9-month trial in Santa Barbara, and when he was convicted, we were just shocked, and we thought we would set out and prove his innocence. The opposite happened. He turned out, we went to his hometown, we discovered he was a insurance scam person, and he had a boat that burned, he had a guest house that burned, and he collected insurance. But the terrible tragedy is that to up it to human life is inconceivable.
And share a little bit about just the notion of you don't really know your friends as well as you may think you do.
I think it's part of one's own personal stupidity or honesty or whatever you want to call it. Because do you know your next door neighbor who seems like a good guy or a good lady can turn out to be a murderer? I mean, that was the horror of this story in a way. You have faith in somebody, you dig into their background, and you find out it's the complete opposite. And I think many people, many of your viewers would they probably know people who've not done murder, but certainly turned out to be not what they thought they were.
Definitely. And what about the writing process? What was that like for you? I mean, you've written a lot in the past, you are a journalist as well. Was this different in any way?
Well, it was a very intimate relationship with my wife of 46 years. She wasn't 46 years when I wrote the book, and we worked together on this, and we came to the realization, the aha moment at the same time, and that was pretty awful, because a guy that you believe in is not who you think he is, and it was a shock to the system, I must say. It took us a long time to understand how we were conned like many other people.
Yeah, understandably so, and that is something really difficult to process and navigate, that you don't just come up with an answer to that in a day or maybe even a while.
No, you don't, and as I said, you picked up on that point, and there are many people who probably maybe have, as I said, come to the same conclusion about people. Maybe they were con men, maybe they were something else, but they're not what they seemed at the beginning.
Definitely. Well, this sounds like an interesting book that maybe our viewers are interested in reading. And if you want to hear more from Ivor on this, he will be at Chaucer's bookstore on Upper State Street in Santa Barbara tomorrow at 6 p.m. for a book talk and a signing. Ivor, thanks again for waking up early and discussing your book and the entire writing process with us. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it. Thank you.